Hi, I'm Phyllis. My website is southernfrugal.com. Tonight I wanted to talk to y'all about green smoothies and the way we make them now. Now, a lot of people have been watching some of the older videos where I made smoothie cubes and that kind of thing. Well, a couple of years ago it's been now, we changed and I started making the smoothies and making the whole thing, and I actually make enough for 12 days, sometimes more. And then I freeze them in gallon bags, which is enough for me and Bucky to have really 18 ounces every morning for each of us. And so I went ahead and wrote down everything that I made when I made the first smoothie today to freeze. I went ahead and wrote the ingredients down and looked up how much I paid for the items that we used and what the ounces were in a bottle and how much I used and that kind of thing, because people have asked me continuously, really over the last, 5.5, maybe 6 years now, what it costs to have a green smoothie every morning. So I thought, okay, I've got all of my work and receipts from Walmart where I picked up groceries yesterday, I think. And I've got the ounces and the brand names and all of that, so I can go ahead and figure that now. Well, little did I know it was going to take probably 3 hours of hard work to figure it all out, but I finally got it right. And I did double check my numbers because it was a real shock, a real shock. So the smoothie that we had today, we went ahead and had the smoothie late so I could figure everything, and I didn't want to just make one and freeze it. I wanted to be able to taste it and for us to drink it. So we actually had a smoothie for lunch today. So anyway, so it turned out that one smoothie that's 18 ounces cost $1.61. I don't think we could make a bacon and egg breakfast for that. I really don't. You certainly couldn't buy a breakfast for that. And I think the only thing that would possibly compete with that would be if you ate cereal in the morning. And then if you had like orange juice with it, that would bring it up even higher. So anyway, the total cost for the smoothie that you're going to see me make at the end of this video cost $1.61. And I'm going to put the exact numbers right down below and what I put in that smoothie. Now, today I made enough smoothies for 12 days, and that's what I usually do. I try to make at least enough for 10 days, but 12 days is even better. And at one point I was making them for like 14 days, and that works too. But anyway, so I wrote down everything so y'all could see. Now, it takes me about 3 hours and I'm working hard too, to get enough videos enough smoothies to last for 12 days. And I get very tired because I'm working pretty fast. But the total cost per month, and this is just average, but it's very close. The total cost per month for us to have a smoothie every morning, so that'd be 2 smoothies every morning, one for me and one for Mr. Bucky, costs $96.60. And I know that sounds like a lot when you just look at it that way, but when you think of the great health benefit, it's great. I'm not much of a morning person at all. In fact, I'm totally not a morning person. So I was getting up in the mornings and making smoothies for I don't even know how long. Then I started doing maybe a year. Then I started doing the little cubes. That made life easier because I just take out the cubes that I wanted to put in the smoothies. And that worked okay, but nothing has worked like making them all at one time and freezing them. Then in the next morning, all I do is take it out of the freezer, put it down in one of those little plastic containers with pretty hot water. And in about 20 minutes, it's completely thawed out. I just unhook the little bag a little bit. It works like a little spout. Pour it in the glasses, and voila, we have our smoothie. So anyway, I wanted to list all of that below, but I wanted to talk to you about some of the ingredients because some of them are more expensive than others. And a good, for instance, is now like strawberries. that I put in the smoothie net, which would be enough for 4 servings, or 4 servings of 18 ounces each, and the total ounces was 72 ounces in the Vitamix. Now, the Vitamix, the bigger container says it holds 64 ounces, but I can make it hold 72 ounces, which is exactly what I do. I fill it all the way up to the almost that little connection where the lid fits on it. So the strawberries for the smoothies that I made, which would be 4 servings, was $1.98. The other expensive thing I think that I use the Medjool dates, and it takes 5 dates to sweeten, especially when you're using strawberries. And I don't want to have to sweeten it with anything else if I can help it. And that was $1.47. So the total for everything I put in, which was apple, sweet potato, banana, kale, apple juice, I use beet juice too, which is also another item that's very expensive. For 32 ounces, it's $4.98. And I'm not sure about the benefit, but you know, they say it does. It has nitrate and causes your body to produce nitrous oxide, and that's really good for you. So I have not done any real research on that. I'm just taking their word for it. So I mean, it couldn't hurt us, so why not use it? And I also put gelatin in the smoothies now because we don't have Jell-O every day like what we used to. So I use half a pack of the little packets that the Knox gelatin, and I just use half a pack, and that really it would be for 4 servings. So it's not a lot, but it's some every single day. And this particular time when I made the smoothies, I used peanut butter as a protein in every one I made. But I do change that up. Sometimes I use chickpeas, which I really like to use, and you get protein from that too. So I think it's 2 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, you get 3.5 grams of protein. I might not have that right because I'm not sure if that's for 2 servings or 4. Anyway, and also I was able to get the apples at the farmer's market and the sweet potatoes, and I go ahead and cook the sweet potatoes in the oven. I don't cook them in water, and I don't cook them in the Instant Pot simply because I don't want to lose any of the potassium in them. And the best way to not lose it is to bake them in the oven. And so I got those really cheap, and I got the apples really cheap. But I mean, if you bought them in the store, they'd definitely be more than I paid, because I pay what the grocery store pays the people at the farmer's market for the fruit, because they give it to us at the same price if we order a full bushel, which is what I do. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this at the beginning, and you'll see the video of me making the smoothie. I only videotaped making one of them, but then at the end I'll show you in the freezer I actually made enough for 12 days. I did run out of the gallon bags, so the last one I only had one gallon bag, so I had to use I poured the smoothie that we're going to have tomorrow morning in a bottle for us to put it in the refrigerator. So anyway, we're going to, I was trying to think of this, oh yeah, here's something else. Now, if you are diabetic, you can't do this, okay? I mean, you'll have to come up with your own smoothie, and you wouldn't be able to use the dates because they're just loaded with sugar, natural sugar, but they're still loaded, and that kind of thing. So, and I know that when you're diabetic, you have to be careful about the different fruits and everything, so you'd need to kind of try to figure this out on your own, or maybe there's somebody that does smoothies that makes YouTube videos that's diabetic, and they can tell you a lot more about it, because I'm not any kind of an authority on that. But I did want to share this with you because several people said, could I use canned fruit in my smoothie? Well, sure, you can use canned fruit, but you're not going to get the vitamin content that you're going to get from fresh frozen or just fresh fruit. And I wanted to show the example of this. Now, this is a can of crushed pineapple, and on the back of it it tells you you're going to get 2% of your daily need for potassium and 2% iron, and that's it. There's no vitamin C, none of that. You just get total carbohydrates is 7%, and dietary fiber is 4%. Let me see if I can get it to focus so you can see that. See right down here? And also, I want to show one more. Let's show the peaches. This is just canned sliced peaches. And what you can get on that is the potassium is 4%, and that's pretty much it, okay? So you do not get the same nutritional value from canned that you do from fresh frozen fruits. So I wanted to point that out. Now, some things like the apple juice that I use is a canned apple, or it's in a bottle apple juice, and it is reconstituted. And they do add vitamin C to it because I think the vitamin C is destroyed when they do all that pasteurizing and everything. So that's something to think about. I don't think you're going to get the same bit, I know you're not, from canned fruit that you would get from fresh fruit. So what I do is buy the big bags of strawberries, blueberries. This week I was able to find raspberries and blackberries, and then I get one that's mixed tropical fruit. I was trying to think, and the one they didn't have this week was the pineapple. And I really like that fresh frozen pineapple. And I like it when I make the blueberry smoothies because I think the pineapple really kicks it up a notch or two, but they didn't have it. So anyway, we weren't able to do any that had the pineapple in them. And of course, Mr. Bucky and I both like the one where it's all, the fruit is all pineapple. That is really, really good. And I wanted to mention this too. I'll go ahead and mix everything, or put everything in the beaker for the Vitamix. And the last thing I add is the fruit, and I usually label it with that fruit. Like if it's strawberry, I just put strawberry on the thing so I know that that's the main ingredient in there. And I usually use 18 ounces or a little over 2 cups of fruit, whether it be strawberry, blueberry, or whatever. And again, let me say, this was a real shock to me because it turned out the cost was much less than I thought it was. Much, much less. And I was also surprised that sweetening the smoothie with dates cost so much. I thought it was kind of expensive, and I have sweetened with honey before. I have sweetened with maple syrup before, but I really do prefer the dates because they advertise that they've got 17 vitamins and minerals in them, so that part I like. Anyway, so y'all can just stay tuned, and I'm going to arrange this so that video of me making the smoothie earlier today will be right after this. And I'm going to list the ingredients I used in the Show More section right down below the video and show you the total cost and the ounces and everything. So anyway, this will answer a lot of questions because people were always asking me, oh, how much does it cost to have smoothies every morning? It really doesn't cost near as much as I thought it did, but it did take me quite a while to get it all worked up and get it accurate. So, all right, y'all, stay tuned for that video. It should be coming up right now. Hi, I'm Phyllis. My website is southernfrugal.com. Today we have worked out the cost of the smoothies. Now, I've never worked that out before, even though multiple people have asked how much does a smoothie cost. So I've definitely got it worked out. So the one I've got worked out for the cost, I'm going to do this one today. And what I'm actually working on today is getting enough smoothies for the next 12 days. So here we go. All right, so I've got a handful of kale in the Vitamix, and to that we're going to I'm adding 5 little dates. These are the Medjool dates. Just clip them to just make them easier for the Vitamix to make sure it gets them all ground up. And that will be the sweetener for the smoothie. And we've got 12 different items we're going to put in here. So that's the kale, then and by the way, this is 1/3 of the pack of the kale. All right, we've got 1 sweet potato baked, and it's been peeled, and I do bake them and then freeze them. And just cut them in little strips to put in. You get a lot of potassium from sweet potatoes. While we're at it, we might as well go ahead and put in a banana. This was a banana that was previously frozen, and these are the organic bananas. Just squeeze it out of the little container and get any strings off. And we're going to use 1 stalk of celery, and I use the leaves too if they still look pretty. Not all crumpled up. I just cut it in there. I usually cut out that little tough part there. And I'm going to leave the list down below this video of what's gone into the video, and I'm going to show you all the cost. So I'll put those little leaves in there. Alright, so that took care of the banana, the sweet potato, the dates. I'm going to put in some cooked oatmeal now. This is about 2 ounces of dry oatmeal. The steel cut oatmeal is what that is. And it's cooked. Now, I didn't add cream of wheat this time, but I usually do. I'm going to go ahead and add 1/2 pack of gelatin. It's just 1/2 pack. 2 cups of apple juice. 1/2 cup of beet juice, and this is organic. The apple juice was not organic though, and it was from concentrate. We're going to add 4 tablespoons of natural Jiff peanut butter, and this is the low salt peanut butter. It's about 4 tablespoons. Right in there. Alright. And now let's see what else we got. Let me find my dish rag. Alright. The next thing we're going to add is going to be the frozen strawberries. And this is actually over 2 cups, more like about 2.5 cups of strawberries. Now if we need more liquid, I'm going to add more apple juice. Drop the strawberry on the floor. And let's see, I think we will need more. So we're going to add a little more. And this apple juice is from concentrates, and it does have sugar in it. And by the way, this would not be the type of smoothie for someone who is diabetic. I'm going to also add 1 apple, and these I peeled earlier and just put down in a little water with a little vinegar in it, just so they wouldn't turn so much. All right, we're ready to start grinding this up. See what we've got. It's going to be loud. Now this Vitamix, when it's filled all the way up to the top, you see where it's right at the top of the line, it makes 72 ounces. So let me just stir it up a little bit. I'm going to grind it just a little bit more. That ought to be enough. Now we're going to pour it into gallon freezer bags. I keep dropping stuff. Hold on a minute. Let me get this up off the floor. Hold on. All right, I moved y'all over to the other side so you can see how I store these. So I actually got a mark on my Vitamix. I know y'all can't see that, which would be enough servings for 2. So we're going to dump that in the bags. And these again are gallon freezer bags. And I simply mark them with the dominant fruit. Like in this case, the dominant fruit is strawberry. So I just marked it as strawberry. I'm going to zip it up. And then I'll take it and lay it down to get the air out. And open it back up just a little bit. Get most of that air out. There we go with that one. And now we're going to do this one. And just open it back up. And get most of that air out. Now if you use the Vitamix too long, grinding everything up, it'll make a lot of bubbles in there. So I try to not do it too long so I don't get all the air bubbles. All right, I see a big bubble in that one. Just open it up at the corner. Mash that air out. All right, so now it's going in my freezer, and I'll be doing 12 packets today, and that would be 6 times with the Vitamix. The Vitamix holds, if you fill it all the way up to the top, will hold 72 ounces, which gives us an 18-ounce smoothie every morning. All right, I'm going to put these in the freezer. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the smoothies for the next 12 days, and then we'll be back. We'll go in the office and talk about all this because I have got the cost. All right, we'll be back probably in another hour or so. All right, we finished doing the smoothies. We've got 2 raspberry here and 2 strawberry here. This is grape and peach, 2 of those. And in here we've got 1 apple and sweet potato. And then we've got 2 blackberry there. And in here we've got a blueberry. And I couldn't find pineapple this time to go with the blueberry. And there's 1 more down there, and I think that's another strawberry. And I ran out of bags, so we had to put it in a bottle and put it in the refrigerator, and we'll have that tomorrow. All right, y'all, we will see y'all next time. Bye for now.